Howdy do everyone, my name is Angie and thank you for joining us on episode 20. That's... Is this going to be one of the longest running series on my channel? Actually, with other visual novels that I have planned, this might be nothing, actually. Now that I'm thinking about that. You know the deal, like and leave, have a good stream. Thanks for joining us for like 3 seconds. Glad to see you here. Have a nice day. Alright, welcome in Space 2. Alright, my voice is a little rough today. I've been out and about all day today. Just got off work. And I still have work after this. I have so much work to do. So hopefully I can wind down a little bit while I do this stream. And then I have to go back to work to do a bunch of videos to try and get out by next week, so we'll see how that goes. Alright. Let's go ahead and get started. We're on episode 20 of Our Life. We're on the Derek DLC. So, we left off with meeting the family and everything. Very cute episode and everything. So, now we will do Lemonade. I can't wait for Boardwalk. That looks... I'm excited to see what that one is. Actually, no, I'm gonna stay. Alright, well, welcome in. Alright. The usual with these types of streams, if you guys beat me to it, I will choose whatever answer I see first. So, you guys can sabotage me, I don't mind. Alright, but this is mostly just gonna be me reading and bouncing off of whatever chat says. Okay. It was afternoon on a sleepy summer day. Nothing urgent needed to be done. No real plans had been made. You and your company were simply hanging out around the local beach, free as the breeze. It was one of those good days where the world was your own, and you had two of your close friends there to enjoy it with. Derek was on your left, and Cove was at your right. 3 pairs of footprints trailed along in the soft white sand behind you. Derek had only been dropped off minutes ago. He'd brought with him those clothes you had to leave at his house before your night swim. You had taken a minute to put them away. What? Wait. I just remembered something. I completely forgot. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, oh god, he's big. Alright, hold on. I need to like zoom him down first. About that size? And then, he's just ahead right now. Wait. What did I do for this again? Like this? Yeah, there he is! There's our buff! Our buff boyfriends. How could I forget? Big head from unknown man jump scare. Yeah. This is our fiance, our big, strong, buff fiance. It's him. It's this guy. Of course, he's in middle school right now, but he'll grow into this. Hold on, I gotta. He has to be. Yeah, there we go. All right, and he can just watch over here. He's watching us. He's just gonna watch us get together with this other guy. Alright. He's not buff, his arms are swollen because of the constantly breaking bone situation. You tell yourself that. You tell yourself that, Space. Oh. But instead of everyone going inside your house or heading to Cove's, you'd simply started to walk. It was definitely hot out. Southern California tended to be that way, but it wasn't so bad that you had to hide away from the beating rays of the sun. Cove's hands were in his pockets. He spoke out while facing away from you. Instead, he lazily watched the unchanging horizon. What do you guys want to do? You and Derek took on matching squints. Normally, there'd be endless answers to that question, but the lackadaisical mood made it feel like trying to solve math problems in a dream. You had nothing. Your thoughts were moving as slowly as the tide that inched towards the shore bit by bit. Finally, the resident problem solver offered a possibility with a yawn and a tall stretch of his arms over his head. Wanna walk to the grocery store? What? Cove twisted his face to the opposite side and stared at Derek. A stuttering laugh expressed his disbelief. Why would we go to the grocery store? With a shrug, Derek scratched his cheek and explained. Well, it's probably different here, but where I live, the closest place to get stuff isn't a convenience store or mall or anything. It's a grocery store. So sometimes me and my bros will take a trip down there and see what we can find. I wish I had, like, some shopping thing close to me. I don't. I have to take a car everywhere. Alright. That sounds neat! Let's see. You've got some interesting hobbies, Derek. Let's see, we're trying to flirt with Derek. We still have Cove at Crush, don't we? That could potentially cause some problems. It's fine. We don't have to deal with that. This is just a cute game. They don't have jealousy in it, right? They don't have jealousy in it? I'm not actually sure about that. Alright, let's see. Wouldn't you find groceries? Derek just laughed. The puzzled reactions from his two friends didn't deter him at all.
This is gonna be great.
It's really not like the normal errands. You can get anything you want. Oh wait, that's still Derek. Whoops. There are a lot of things at the store you never even think about when you're there. When you're there with your parents and list stuff for the house. I can't speak. Oh god. I'm deteriorating early. Cove's formerly heavy, drooping lids lifted high, showing his bright blue eyes. He glanced between you and Derek for final confirmation that you were of what you were seriously doing today. Derek had complete confidence in his stance. You offered him what you'd hoped was a reassuring smile. The corners of your neighbor's mouth perked up as well. Okay, let's go to the grocery store. If I played this kind of game, I would have two runs. One playing seriously and the other being a jerk. Okay, listen. I've played this game a few times and the game, there's no punishments. So like if you want to get the guy and be a jerk, you can. And likewise, you can choose that, like, you don't like the guy and you don't end up with him. It's just really funny to see all the combinations you can do in it. But yeah, there's no punishment for acting a certain way. There's no bad choices. So you can make a very interesting character. It's very customizable too, so you can, like, choose a lot of aspects of your player character. We spent the entire childhood phase ignoring. Yeah, we did. We ignored him. We decided we hated him. When we were a child. We decided we hated him and just ignored him the entire time. We skipped so many story events. Onion, onion, onion. Yeah. Welcome in, Pale Worm. Alright. Cool. It was another successful bit of improvising on Derek's part. He put his hands on his hips eagerly.
Let's go.
I'm pretty sure I know where your store is, but the two of you should probably lead the way. Leave it to us. Let's see. You know you really love him, Space. Yeah, look, she drew him for us. Our buff and strong boyfriend. I really love having this and just like pulling it up like, yeah, look, I haven't even shown you the full card yet. He looks like itty bitty down here and then you pull him up and it's like the dog from Undertale. Like that cute little face and then like, woo! I love it so much. And then like, it doesn't even work with this one because you pull it up and it's just like, it's so cute. It's so cute and tiny. Oh, I love it so much. Average Fortnite scan. That's a lot less hot, but I'm curious how this is gonna unfold. Yeah, there's not really any punishment for this game. I do like it when like games like, have bad endings and stuff, but this was always meant to be a cute game. Any not cute things is stuff that we've just inserted. He's a little guy. He is. Look at him. He's so small. That'll age, I'm sure. Yeah. All right. Cove puffed out his chest with pride. He was a true local to the town after being there for so many years. And your walk continued, now with an actual destination in mind. You retraced the remnants of your steps in the sand, heading back to the neighborhood, then up the hill and out of the residential area. When you turned onto Main Street, the grocery store was already visible in the distance. It also wasn't going anywhere, so you enjoyed the stroll together. You would arrive when you arrived. Derek continued to sell the concept of his plan by recounting stories of him and his brother's past adventures in Groceryland. So we'd gotten super lucky because the discount rack had a whole cherry pie for way off. Okay, yeah, I've been guilty of that. Going in stores and seeing the sale section and being like, oh, I know I'm not supposed to grab the entire tin of cookies over there, but like, it's 50% off. There's nothing stopping me. I'm an adult now. Oh god, I've done that too many times. Me, George, and Nico pulled our pockets change to get it, and then we had an entire pie, just like that. We sat outside on a bench near the store and ate it from the pan. Me when cheesecake. Oh yeah, cheesecake, that is a big weakness too. It was cut into 6 slices. I only let the kids have 1 piece each. It was already a lot of sugar. I didn't want to make them food sick. Oh, that's responsible. Alright. I tried to come up with how we were going to explain half a pie to Mom, but Nico had his own idea. He took a slice he wasn't allowed to eat and instead threw it at George. That's cute. Food fights? Cove's mouth gaped open at the audacity. Derek laughed out loud at the memory and the response it got from the present. He'd been watching way too many cartoons with food fights and pies to the faces, I guess. I think I ate cheesecake once in my life. That was when I was a kid. I don't remember the taste. I really like cheesecake. I don't get to have it very often, but like, I sometimes request it on my birthdays because I really enjoy it. Especially, I like the ones with strawberries on it. Strawberry cheesecake is really good. But I also really like strawberry shortcake. I've been getting, recently, for my birthdays, it's been strawberry shortcake. I always try to treat myself with something on my birthday, though. Alright. You'd believe that. If there was one thing Nicholas loved, it was Derek. And if there was another, it was cars. And if there was a third, it was copying things he'd seen others do. Obviously, George didn't let that slide. And he took the 5th piece of the pie and squished it right into Nicholas's head. His hair was covered in dark cherry goo. It was a mess, but if you can't beat them, join them. I dumped the last of the pie on myself. You're your own worst enemy. Don't trust anyone, not even yourself. Why? He didn't want to be left out, obviously. It stopped them from fighting over it, and they would have ended up feeling bad if they got messy and I didn't. Nicholas doesn't think very far ahead. Oh, what did you do next? We found a water fountain around the back of the grocery store and tried to scrape off as much pie as possible. Then we went home. Mom still figured out what happened, and we all had to take real baths. That was a good time. A fond smile settled on Derek's face. He glanced up at the sky while getting lost in an entirely private moment of reminiscing. Cove was still reflecting on the story with amusement. Let's see, that's adorable. It is adorable! Grocery stores are more exciting than I thought. Giggle at a story. Shook your head at how ridiculous it was. There's not really any funny answers right now. I love the answers that, like, just go... Just like go off the rails. But we're not getting that many right now. I guess that's adorable. Thanks. Cove ruffled a hand through his hair, possibly considering how it might have felt to have an entire pie crushed in his locks. He smirked. A pie throwing fight is way more memorable than I would have guessed. The most unexpected thing that happened to me when out shopping was that time I got a free balloon and accidentally popped it pretty much immediately. Yeah, and then threw a fit at that. You were such an annoying child. Oh man, I can say that because we disliked Cove as a child. We decided that.
Dude.
Oh shoot. It was Derek's turn to chuckle in nervous disbelief. His grin shook just imagining it. It's okay. Rest in peace, Dolphin Balloon! Or rest in pieces, Dolphin Balloon. I like that, actually. I like that. I'm sorry, that's how our first shopping trip ended, Cove. I like the sound of that because it sounds like, oh, don't worry, we'll have more. However, we're not going for Cove this time, so rest in pieces, Dolphin Balloon. Yeah, rest in pieces. The conversation stayed on the topic of store-related outings. Derek had plenty more experiences to share. The chat didn't last much longer, though. Soon you crossed the street and arrived at Sunset Bird's local mom-and-pop grocery store. You and your two co-shoppers headed right through the automatic doors. A shiver went down your spine when you stepped out into the afternoon heat and into the powerful air-conditioned store. Shiny, orderly aisles stretched out in front of you. Each one was tightly packed with a plethora of brightly packaged merchandise. To some people, the rows and rows of items might have been a slog to go through, but seen through Derek's eyes, it was a scavenger hunt with endless opportunities. Though it was Cove who spoke first. Do we need a cart?
Nope.
Probably not. Derek casually waved that off, eyes still fixated ahead on the altar of consumerism ahead. We're here for quality, not quantity. Besides, do we even have enough money to buy a ton of things? Probably not. What are we, 13? Oh, wait. Cove suddenly burrowed his hand in his pockets once again. He tucked them in deep, but didn't find what he was searching for. I don't have my wallet. It's at home. Me neither. I thought we'd just be in the neighborhood all day. Yeah.
I figured.
It's cool, I figured. Derek's lack of reaction couldn't smooth over Cove's obvious response to the situation. His wavy eyebrows pulled down together. They've been really mentioning his wavy eyebrows a lot more recently. I'm noticing that. Beforehand, they only mentioned it like a couple of times, and like I didn't really notice it that much until like the whole Jeremy chapter, you know, the kid we punched in the face. Until we got there, and I never really noticed the wavy eyebrows. We could have stopped by to get it before we left. Nah, this was my idea, so it's my treat. I've got like $8 and some change. That's enough for all of us to spend around a few dollars to put together for one thing. That's gonna be plenty. Let's see. Not even $10 between us. Wow, it's like we're kids again. Oh man, that's still me. I don't know what you're talking about, Rain. I'm an adult and I still never have money. Yeah, I'm choosing that. That's funny. That's what's great about it. Having limited funds is the best part. You've got to get creative. Yeah, creative. That's what I call it. That's what I call it when I'm in tears. Pay you back. You were a little late there. Cove's hands finally deserted his pockets, and one came up to rub his forearm instead. Okay, thanks. Let's go get something good. Derek took a step forward as he cheered. All right, here we go. You went down the nearest aisle. swiveling your head to check both sides of the path as you swung your currently empty of goods arms through the air. A freaking course, gotta get creative when you're homeless, I guess. Yeah. Gotta get real creative. Alright. The first stop of the market expedition was the discount rack in the back. You didn't have the same luck as Derek and his little brothers. It was the only place in the store that was barren. One shelf had several dented cartons of chicken stock. Stuffed in the bottom of the rack was a bag of plain rolls. The sight was pretty pathetic. Yeah, it's always that way. You go to the for sale rack and, like, there's none of the stuff you want. But man, if there was, like, cartons of chicken stock that was on sale, I would be buying 3 of them. Do you know how much soup I could make with that? Oh my gosh. Too bad. He shrugged like it was nothing, but the words told a different story. It would have... Oh, no, that's Cove. That's Cove. Hold on. Ahem. It would have been easy if there was a pie here, or a cake, or one of those pans with a bunch of cinnamon rolls. Always the cinnamon rolls, huh? I agree. Cinnamon rolls are good. It's that cinnamon sugar. It gets you coming back every time. Wistfully, Cove continued to mumble a list of miscellaneous pastries that you might have potentially been able to get if the fates had aligned. We can still get the stock. It's such a good deal. Ah, yes, start that mindset early. I was definitely thinking of that when I was 13. Oh my gosh. That is a funny answer, though. I was like, my mom's trained me on this. Okay, let's see what the other answers are. I was hoping it was cake this time. Oh no, the chicken stock is still the funniest one. You got a laugh from both boys. We'll keep that in mind as an option. There's still plenty of possibilities. And if push comes to shove, we could afford a smaller treat, like getting 3 boxes with 1 slice of cake each. We wouldn't eat more than that anyway. Let's see, hoping for cake. I think you're a little behind, Momster. Maybe you could just eat 1. Ko could have eaten half a pie to himself. I think he could have eaten the whole thing. You don't need that much dirt. Nope, he could have eaten that. Wow, alright. It's a good thing we didn't find one then. Hey! You pushed past the already pilfered treasure chest and continued to chat. You passed cereals, pastas, and sauces, an aisle full of chip bags and soda packs and more. Man, I do remember the times when I was, like, I guess around this age, and me and my friends would just go out, and we would stop by, like, the grocery store and stuff. Like, you know, parents would let you out at the mall or something, and we'd all, like, get out and go and try and find the candy stores or the chip aisles or soda and just buy a bunch and eat it all before our parents came to pick us up. I remember those times. It's been a long time now. I don't like to think about that. All right. Already read that. The dry goods and canned foods now behind you, you arrived at the produce section. The arrangement of goods was much more open than the narrow rows of shelves. The 3 of you could spread out more in between pallets and baskets of fresh fruit and vegetables. Derek grabbed an avocado to check its ripeness. Cove stared at the watermelons, appreciating the fruit, but his blank face made it obvious he had no idea how to tell if they were good quality or not. Then a recognizable crackling sound sputtered to life. Both the boys with you lifted their heads. Without conversing, the 2 rushed over to the back wall, where the leafy greens were piled up. A light spray of mist burst from the sprinklers, raining down gently on the produce. Cove and Derek struck their hands into the damp air while snickering. Derek rubbed his hands together to pretend he was washing them. Cove lifted his hands up to be as close to the source of water as possible. You guys are such kids. Let's see. stick our face in. You gotta get moisturized. I'm a fish. We need water. You'd made your own dash across the floor to enjoy the tiny dusting of water drops on your cheeks. The impromptu public shower ended shortly, and it was back to the center of the space for you. Knowing grins were shared around as you regrouped, there was a comfort in realizing someone else had the same silly habit as you. With the distraction over and the main goal unresolved, Cove helplessly glanced around the store. He was totally stumped. There's a lot of things I like, but I don't have to get any of it now. How do we pick? There was a whine in his tone, and he crossed his arms out in frustration. Derek kept it light, same as he would when dealing with his much younger siblings. Dude, you need more imagination. Turn lemons into lemonade. Ah, that's how we're getting to it. I was wondering, I'm like, isn't the main topic of this story lemonade? Actually, wait, yeah, that's what we should do. We can get some lemons and make our own lemonade. The concept struck Cove just as much as Derek. Oh, that would be cool. If that's what you want, it's fine, okay. It is. Derek marched with purpose to a box that was heavy with mesh bags of the desired yellow citrus. He tapped a finger to his chin, then bounced from one foot to the other. Derek was suddenly a lemon connoisseur who scrutinized the offerings with utmost focus. He selected 2 bags, one in each hand. The bottom of each pack was set against his upturned palms. Derek jiggled the lemons and tried to get a sense of their weight. Who is texting me? What is happening? I always check text messages on this stream because this is the stream that I always forget to turn my mic on. Nope, it was nothing. All right. Oh, I got another text. Why are you texting me? Why am I being texted? Okay. Mic is still on. We're all good. I'm fine. All right. I'm just gonna go on. All right. He selected 2 bags, one in each hand. The bottom of each pack was set against his upturned palms. I read this. Finally, the bag on the right was deemed superior, and Derek carefully laid the unwanted bundle back onto the stand. Then he lifted the winner high, showing it off to Cove and you. Oh, make lemon cake? We need that option? Ooh, lemon cake is good. You guys are like putting like talking about a bunch of sweets. I can't take this. I'm gonna want sweets, and I can't afford to go out and get sweets right now. I've got my thing. It's only $3. Your turn. $3? Man, that's good. This time, Cove didn't look aimlessly at what was in front of him. He shut his eyes and put all his mind's power into conjuring up an answer. Soon he stole a quick glance at Derek's lemons through squinted eyes, and then he took his turn. Come on.
Let's go.
Let's do it! You made another trip across the length of the store, this time at a much brisker pace. Cove had a target in sight, even if you couldn't see it yet. He blew past all the food aisles, the pet shelves, and the cleaning supplies. He only stopped when you'd made it to a random aisle in the store with cheap plastic kids' toys. Where's Harry? Not in this game. Wrong stream. There is no Harry in this game. That's Lobotomy Corp. This is it. His words were eager and certain. There was a childish excitement to Cove that was fitting for the location. He reached a hand into the wall with yo-yos and bubble blowers. His fingers landed on the baggie of water balloons. Drinking lemonade is gonna make me want to have fun outside too. We can use this for that. Now I'm in. I'm in for a good water balloon fight.
Yeah.
Perfect plan, Cove. Okay, I knew you could do it. It sounds so condescending. Thanks, but he didn't take it that way, so that works. For all the previous indecision, the sweetness of victory was all the more worth it for Cove. Harry would get us lemon cakes. I'm sure he would. His selection was even cheaper than Derek's, $2 and a bit of change. All that was left of Derek's money was $3 and your choice of prize. Derek patiently cradled his bags of lemons while Cove watched you unexpectantly, excited to see what the final piece of the puzzle would be. You reflected on the theme that was forming, your own preferences and the shareability of different goods. In the end, you opened your mouth and said, Ooh, can we keep doing things? 'Cause, like, we could... Who is texting me? Why am I getting texts right now? Okay, I'm turning my phone off. Has to be done, has to be done. There. No more interruptions, except for tea. I'm gonna take some tea right now. Stay hydrated. All right. Oh, yo-yos are good. Bubble blowers? Okay, that's real. Yeah, bubble. We have to get the bubble blower. It's a bubble blower. I'm sorry, Space. I'm sorry. Okay, Momster also said umbrellas. Listen, I get it. But listen, bubble blowers. That's my argument. That's it. Cool. Do we only get one? Oh. I guess, like, Derek's paying for everything, so it might be... it might be bad to be like, hey, I'm gonna get all of this stuff, pay for it. I didn't think about that entirely, but that might not be the way to go about things. Conveniently, you were already in the right place. You simply picked out the bubble blower that had the least banged up packaging, and you were done. With items in hand, you, Derek, and Cove went through the checkout line. Derek dug out his pocket change and paid for your odd arrangement of items. None of you bothered to get a bag. Derek's was already in one, and you and Cove could easily carry the things on your own. I seriously was about to read that as, yeah, Derek's already in the bag, and I was like, wait, what? I know he's small, but, like, that's a little too small. After a successful grocery trip, you returned to the great outdoors to walk back to the neighborhood. This kind of outing reminded you that it wasn't what you were doing. That what counted was who you were doing it with. That's right, guys, it's the friends we made along the way. That's what truly matters. I'm looking at this display here, and, like, I think like we need, like, yeah. He needs to be standing. Cove doesn't. But, like, Derek should be, because this is his story. You know, Cove doesn't matter right now. We're over Cove. We finished it. Well, kind of. We're going back to it, but we mostly finished it. So you're making Derek pay for your bubble blower. Those little umbrellas would have been way more economical. Anyways. Yep. Oh. Outside, you gathered in front of the crosswalk and waited for a chance to get back to the main sidewalk. While standing around, it was unanimously wow. What is wrong? What is wrong? Fun fact, PS3 has no games. Yeah, I heard something about that. Not much though. I've never owned a PlayStation until the PlayStation 4. Alright. While standing around, it was unanimously decided that you'd bring your goods to Cove's house and make the lemonade there. Your home had the risk of Elizabeth deciding she wanted a pre-dinner snack. She wouldn't appreciate having a lemonade making opportunity in the way. Cove's head is almost as tall as all of Derek. It's true. That's why he doesn't need the space. Well, I'm gonna go see you next LobCorp stream. See you then. All right. Ah! I'm being called this time? What? I don't know that number. What? Why is everyone and their mother trying to get a hold of me today? What is happening? Every time, every Monday, it's like I can't just have a simple, like, book club stream in peace. I thought I turned my phone off. What? That surprised me. That was like a jump scare. I went to get a cup of coffee. Why are you starting a lemonade business? I don't think we're starting a business. I think we're just making lemonade. Are we starting a business? You're haunted. Ugh! I think I'm just bad with technology and didn't turn my phone off properly. I think the real answer is that I'm bad with technology and didn't turn my phone off properly. It's hard to be popular, Angie. I see. This is the curse all along. They said popularity would be my curse. I didn't realize how true it was. It could potentially develop into a business. That is true. That is true. It could. We're doing it for fun now, but we could get so good at it, it could turn into a full business. Or, just a stand. Curse of binding. Yep. Should have read the fine print. She wouldn't appreciate having a lemonade-making operation in the way. There was no worry of that of the holding condo. Cove's mom and dad were out, and even if they weren't, they were his parents, not his bossy big siblings. They wouldn't even dream of throwing the three of you out of the kitchen to use it instead. You could start singing the song from Wicked. No thanks. No thanks. I'll avoid singing live for now. Also, I'm pretty sure that if I try to sing anything, this channel will just get copyright struck. Like crazy. I've lost the ability to speak. Copyright hurts. That's right. There's so many times where I'll say something and I'm like, oh, this is a great way to segment into doing a bit and singing this song real fast. And then I have to stop myself because copyright sucks. So many songs make good jokes though. All right. They wouldn't even dream of throwing the three of you out of the kitchen to use it instead. Derek was thinking along similar lines based on what he said next. Hello, how are you today? By the way, I'm here with the Our Life How to Train Your Dragon universe. Well, I suppose this is the stream to do it. Welcome in, Okapi. Good to see you here. Honestly, man, I can't wrap my head around what it's like not to have any siblings hanging around the house at all. I don't mean that you're weird for that, just, it's gotta be so different. Really? Is it? I have my dad here. My mom is staying right here now, too. Oh, Oliver, what are you doing here? You jumped right in front of me? Hey, Josh, welcome in. You came right when Oliver decided to visit. Oliver, you're in the way of my computer. Yeah, you're in the way. You're in the way, baby. Oh, come here. You can go on my lap. Do you want to say anything? Do you want to say hi? No? Just gonna sniff around? Okay. Well, he's here now. Everyone say hi to Oliver. Alright, no, Oliver, I need that. Hey, Oliver. Never mind, get out of my lap. That was my cat. I didn't have access to my computer for a second. He can never be in the way. He owns the place. He certainly does. I'm a fish. He'll eat me if I step out of line. Alright. You just gonna nap on the ground for a bit? Alright. Okay. Is it? I have my dad there. My mom is staying there right now, too.
I guess.
Yeah, but that's not the same. Parents take care of the kids, and the kids have a bunch of stuff they need. Every day has to be about me and my brothers. Let's see. Fun fact, Suncloud Cove's Night Fury and Annabelle Derek's Night Fury are friends, like they're human friends. Oh, that's cute. Alright. If we go out to eat, will everyone like the stuff there, or will George be too picky? Are we all old enough to do whatever the thing is, or is Nicholas too little? My birthday is the only time I can do everything that I want for the whole time, and I still choose to keep my bros in mind, even though my parents don't make me.
It's okay.
I don't mind, but it's crazy imagining a world where I don't have to do that. Huh? I hadn't thought about that. Cove's eyes darted back and forth, and he bit the inside of his cheek. I guess having siblings or not changes how someone thinks. I figured people would be who they are no matter what, but maybe I would have needed to be at least a little different if I had to share my parents and life all the time. Yeah, I've always wondered how different my life would be if I had siblings, but I don't. I'm an only child. I'm an only fish. Alright. I'm glad you both are who you are. That's cute. That's a very cute answer. I wonder who I'd be without Elizabeth. I don't want to imagine a world without Elizabeth. That's right, we love our sister. Also, I can feel space staring over me with that answer. Same for me and my bros. But the road was clear, so Derek got the conversation and his legs moving again. What? Sorry, my cat just like just bit my ankle. He probably wants to be fed again. I'll feed you after the stream, I promise. Alright, he went back to sleeping. Okay, I'll try not to let my cat distract me too much more. The road was clear, so Derek got the conversation and his legs moving again. He started preparations by listing off what you need to go gather when you made it back. Sugar, ideally, some ice, and really cold water, a pitcher or something like that. Do you have one of those lemon squeezers? We can do it by hand if we've got it. He eats fish, you say. Hold on now. Hold on. Counter offer, I feed him instead. Not me. I don't feed him myself. He just, he eats something else instead. And that is my counter offer. I give him place to sleep and feed him other things, and he doesn't eat me. With every object Derek recited, Cove nodded along plainly, but he was watching something off in the distance. His faraway thoughts made Derek's words reach him less and less, until Derek noticed the lack of reaction. He called to Cove more loudly to catch his attention. Are you okay, dude? Oh. Cove blinked as his brain snapped back into place in the center of his head. It's nothing. What were we talking about again? Derek spun his lemon bag into a mini tornado by twisting it around, tight from the bottom and then releasing it. He snickered.
No worries.
No worries, I was just making plans for making the lemonade. Okay. The rest of the trip passed by comfortably. Derek carried the conversation and Cove really paid attention from then on. Once you'd arrived at the neighborhood and reached Cove's front door, the resident of the building opened it up without needing a key. It was already unlocked. Derek gasped upon seeing such a lack of security. Cove, however, was so relaxed and content that he yawned while going inside. Couldn't be me. Could not be me. All the doors have to be locked no matter what time it is. Ugh. There's a lot of break-ins in my area, and I'm not prepared for that. Do you know how fish are? Do you know how fish are? We don't care at all if some places you're home. We just eat. So, no, everything stays locked. That unknowingly cut off Derek's chance to question Cove about his choice not to lock the door. He simply followed his friends inside, and you did as well. Cove leisurely crossed his living room to drop his bag of water balloons on the coffee table for later. You left your bubble blower there alongside it.
I'm on it.
All right. Chekhov's bubble blower and water balloons. I know that's gonna come in later, So if we think the story's gonna end at any time, it doesn't end until we get to those two things. Derek went straight into the kitchen. He had his lemon bag over his shoulder like a gym pack and flipped it over to sit it beside the sink. He slipped his thumbs through the holes of the mesh and tore it. "Where's your colander?" Cove paused, looking incredulously at the wall. Then he turned and projected his confusion across the counter towards the source of it. "What? My what?" Undeterred, Derek was quick to offer a rephrase. "A strainer? In the lower cabinet, the one on the left?" Derek pressed his hands into the marble and leaned forward with a grin. I guess I didn't turn off my phone because it's still going off. And I don't... Oh, someone just rung my doorbell. Great. Alright, no, I'm not gonna get it. I'm streaming, I'm not getting it. Alright, let's see how many things can distract Angie today. Thanks, Cove. Let's see. I have heard a strainer be called a colander before. Learn something new every day, huh, Cove? Yeah. Then the spiky-haired chef ducked down and disappeared from sight. If you could call someone who made lemonade a chef, that is. We left our eyes off of him. Who knows what will happen now? Having trouble with technology? Maybe it's the police? Don't wish that into existence, okay? Also, I think like they'd ring again if it was the police, but they haven't. Alright. When he popped back up into view, framed by the back wall and the support beams in the front of the kitchen, Derek was holding a silver strainer. He plopped it into the sink, and it sharply clinked against the metal basin. Derek took the bag he'd set nearby and dumped every single lemon into the waiting counter. Why is Cove third wheeling on our date with Derek? I mean, like, it's not a date yet. We haven't, like, reached that stage yet. Instead, Cove is just, like, you know, watching, not thinking that anything would happen. Again? I guess they are ringing twice. Hold on. Maybe it is something. I'm just gonna like look at this real fast. Oh, what? I think I'm being pranked. I think I'm being pranked. My Ring camera just caught it. It looks like there's a kid that ran to my door and rang it and then just ran off. I think they're trying to ding-dong ditch me. I can't believe this. Oh, that's kind of adorable. I mean, I'm not gonna answer. Derek proving how useless Cove is. No money, can't cook, no idea of personal safety. He really is showing him up, isn't he? Not a good look for Cove. He turned the faucet so he could clean the cherry fruits. The sound of running water added an extra layer of relaxation to the atmosphere. Cove stopped waddling and joined the already hard-at-work Derek in the kitchen. He grabbed a cutting board and a large knife from the upper drawer. It was his house, and he wordlessly claimed responsibility for the riskiest part of making the lemonade. Cove also directed you towards the sugar and a few other things, the riskiest part of making lemonade. We're rich, we don't need a sugar spouse. But the rest is true. Our moms are rich. There's the little asterisk there. Our moms are rich. As it turned out, Mr. Holden didn't have an actual lemon squeezer, so you were going to be doing that by hand. He did have a perfectly crystal clear glass pitcher that'd be perfect for the lemonade. The body of it was completely round ball shape, It had a narrowed edge that pulled in at the top with one side pinched into the spout. As far as you could tell, it'd never been used.
Hey.
Have you made lemonade before, Rain, Cove? Derek casually questioned both of you while he hefted the so-called colander up and down to shake off some of the water clinging to the freshly washed lemons. Yes, we need someone that can maintain our standard of living when our moms inevitably stop giving us money. Derek is the safer choice. Of course, we made lemonade. We live in summertime city. That is true. Oh, that is true. California. It stays the same temperature like year-round depending on where you live. Let's see. Yeah, I've made lemonade before. Of course we have. Have we made it with Cove or have we made it without Cove? After our mom stopped giving us money, we can just get Lee to give us our trust fund. It's fine. We're really milking Lee for everything she has. Of course we haven't made it with Cove. Got it. What about you, Cove? I've made really simple lemonade before, just for me. Everyone's like, without Cove. No Cove. Anti-Cove all of a sudden. I'd squeeze 1 glass of lemon into a glass of water and dump in a spoonful of sugar. It wasn't that great, but it was easy. No class. No class, Cove. Cool. Derek hummed while placing lemons on a clean kitchen towel. He took a fruit from the colander with his left hand, passed it over to his right, and placed that down while grabbing a new one.
It's all good.
I've made it before too. Fresh lemonade is so good. I'm excited for this. So am I. Your tools were all prepared now, so the team shifted into the actual creation of the traditional summer drink. Cove would cut the lemons into chunks. Derek gave Cove a tip to roll the lemons against the board before slicing them to get the juices going. You and Derek worked hard together to squish the fruits. You squeezed the lemon parts over the pitcher itself with a smaller strainer bounced over the mouth of it to catch the seeds. I am sure giving interesting line deliveries today. My head is just like, whew, I really am tired after work. All right. Piece by piece, you crush the thick peel into itself to pop the little sacks of juice in the fruit. The tips of your fingers begin to wrinkle after a while. Ooh, wrinkle with the lemon juice. But slowly, a murky liquid pulled out of the bottom of the glass container. When enough fruits were chopped, Cove joined in the juicing efforts. The 3 of you huddled around the counter together. You leaned over the one pitcher and strained to get everything you could out of the little yellow menaces, while not accidentally squirting acid into anyone's eyes. Ugh! I've had that happen to me before, actually. I've gotten lemon juice squirted in my eyes before. It's so painful. The precariousness of the situation aside, Cove continued the conversation with a question of his own. Derek, you've made lemonade, but did you ever do the whole lemonade stand thing where you try to sell it to random people who pass by? Oh, yeah. It was a mess, and I think we only sold like 2 cups. It's better than I did. I've done the lemonade stand thing before and didn't sell anything. Nicholas kept drinking our supply, and George's efforts to stop him spilled even more of it.
Oh man.
Plus, the 2 kids fighting over the lemonade jar probably scared people away from the stall. But it's not like I was expecting that to be some kind of entrepreneurial success. It was for Nico and George to have fun, and they did, mostly. Can fish even drink lemonade? We can drink it, but it's not recommended. As usual, tales of Derek's endeavors as a big brother got Cove to chuckle. You were also smiling, even though your fingers had started to cramp after so much lemon compacting. Me and Elizabeth did that too. Yeah, me and my big sister did it. Lizzie took it very seriously. She shouted at every person who passed by, though there weren't many of those. You've seen our neighborhood. Almost no one comes here, and her moms wouldn't let us go all the way to the main streets and set it up.
I got you.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem. Oh, Derek is so predisposed to being emotionally manipulated. Hey now, don't do that to him. Look at them. Look at those eyes. Don't do that. Look at him over here. Oh, be good to him. He's a widow guy. It wasn't all bad. We did have a high success rate with the poor people who crossed our path. Lizzie would chase them down if they tried to pretend they didn't see her. It reminds me of my time. That reminds me of my time, selling lemonade. Like, we would have different tactics to try and corner people. Be like, hey, did you see me? Hey, come over here. Hey. They'd be like chased down by 6-year-olds. We know you hear us, come back! I imagine the Suncloud Cove's Night Fury and Annival Derek's Night Fury hunting fish while human friends make lemonade. I could see that. Ridiculous. Yeah. I love stories like that of like the little kids selling whatever, like cookies or whatever, and like just like, what do you mean you're not gonna buy it? Or like chasing them down. I think it's so funny. Oh. Alright, let's see. Oh, but too bad for them, the lemonade was horrible. Joke's on them. I didn't even see what the other answers were. That was funny. Derek was the one laughing then. He squeezed another chunk with a wink.
Cool.
That's impressive. It's a hard market out there.
Man.
But man, all this business talk makes me think about how I only met either of you because my dad partnered with Cove's dad's business. If that hadn't happened, you probably wouldn't have learned I existed. You'd still know each other, obviously. Derek squeezed his 12th lemon chunk with a fittingly sour expression on his face. He'd accidentally made himself feel like a third wheel. Oh, Derek, you're not the third wheel here. Cove is. In the cluster of human juicers. I was about to say something completely different for a second that would have changed the entire Well, we won't go there. Derek was in the middle, yet he began to fade despite being right next to you. You and Cove looked at one another from over Derek's lowered head. Cove pushed himself to smile through his concern, while also giving Derek's arm a little nudge with his elbow. I worry about that kind of thing sometimes too. If my dad hadn't picked this street to move to, I wouldn't have met Rain. The bravery he mustered began to disintegrate. After putting the truth to the front of his mind, Cove swallowed bitterly. I don't like it when I start to think about that.
It's okay.
But my dad still wouldn't have had his business, so I still would have met you. Sheepishly, Derek pressed his shoulders up around his face. He managed a small smile. Yeah, it's rough for all of us. Where your parents live and what your parents do has to matter so much to everything. Derek bit his lip, unwilling to let himself continue to speak negatively. But like a turtle coming out of his shell, Derek lifted himself off the counter and rejoined you and Cove at his regular eye level. We did meet each other and we're friends. That's what counts. Let's see, is there any funny answers on this? Soon enough we'll be old enough to decide everything in our lives. I'm glad we met. There's a lot of cute answers. So I guess exactly. What ifs don't don't make a difference, cause we're really all here. Oh gosh, it's funny if I can't speak the answer. Yeah. Cove quietly watched over his friends, soothed by his uplifted mood. Then his lips parted as a pleasant thought came to mind. Oh my god, I'm losing it. Hey, this is where I was standing when I first met you. Oh yeah. Derek bounced up on his toes and tossed the lemon piece he'd been working on over into the trash can. It landed inside perfectly. Why am I feeling like the third wheel now? Why am I feeling like the third wheel now? But I was on the other side of the counter back then, and now I'm here in the kitchen with you. That caught your ear, and you lifted one of your brows. You remembered the night Cove told you he'd met a new kid named Derek, but he didn't say much about it. All you really knew was that their parents had started working together, and then Derek began to come around to the neighborhood for visits. Derek could recognize an intrigued audience when he saw one, and did what he knew how to do: tell the rest of the story. Did Cove's dad bribe Derek too? Maybe, we don't know what he's done. Derek doesn't snitch like we do. Mr. Holden invited my dad over for a meal at his house after their partnership was official. He talked about Cove before, when him and my dad were getting to know each other. You can't get away from hearing about Mr. Holden's top-notch son if you spend any time with him. Off to the side, Cove mumbled with embarrassment over what he clearly thought was an unnecessary addition. Derek laughed the minor interruption off and went on. So, my dad suggested that I come too. Since we were the same age, Mr. Holden was apparently really into the idea. That's why Derek has money. Ah! Ah! He's using the money that, Cove's dad bribed him with. No! Well, money's money. I had no idea what to expect from someone like that, but I wanted to go to a sort of business dinner with my dad. It felt pretty cool to be invited, and then I went. Whatever I was imagining before I got there, Mr. Holden definitely wasn't it. I had thought my dad was casual for professional business person, but Cove's dad takes the cake. Yeah. A warmth came to Cove's expression, not the red-hot heat of Lester from before, but a gentleness that was based in his honest love for his parent. A lot of people don't expect Dad to be how he is. What do you think about me when you first met, you know? Derek mindlessly scratched his damp head against the back of his hand against the back of his head. A stray lemon seed clung to one of the spikes of his hair. You didn't want to cut the two off, so the little bit was unmentioned. No, mention that!
No way.
Honestly, when I spotted you in the back of the kitchen, I thought Mr. Holden had an older kid he was hiding, because there's no way that guy was 13. Yeah, that seems to be a common sentiment here. Aw, reminiscing over his broken family and upset mom. Hey now! Hey now! You were so tall and fit, and you just stared at people. You seemed like a tough upper-grade teen who'd never talked to someone like me. You snickered under your breath. If you didn't know any better, you'd think he was describing Elizabeth. Having that description be assigned to Cove Holden, of all people, was hilarious. Cove was equally startled by Derek's choice of words. His eyes opened wide in amazement. You thought I was tough? Yeah, I did, but thought is definitely the right word for that. That instantly put Cove into a pouty mood. He pressed both his palms against the marble countertop, not bothering to squeeze another lemon. Cove didn't want to play anymore. Yeah. Of course that put him in a bad mood. What's wrong, Cove? That was before Derek knew Cove had glass bones. He's like, he's like... I mean, we made him buff. We made him buff later. Look at him now. Like, look at this guy now. Careful who you make fun of. You see that, kid? This is who he is now. Careful who you make fun of. Oh. Derek leaned his shoulder against Cove's side affectionately. He reached past him to the lemon slice Cove wasn't using and started to juice it himself. Sorry, there's nothing wrong with being a softie. I like that about you. Bringing Derek's statement to life, Cove visibly relaxed his stance. The tone of his voice was equally delicate. I guess it's not bad. Cove was honestly kidding himself if he thought he was anything other than a sensitive sweetheart, but just like Derek, that was something you treasured about him. It's great, Cove. Cove took a new piece of fruit and rejoined the lemonade-making efforts. Derek pinched an eye shut from the tension of crushing a chunk in his fist. He hesitantly continued the topic. So, what about me? When you first met me, what kind of impression did you get? I really feel like I'm kind of third-wheeling here. They're having their own, like, full conversation, and I'm just over here, like, do-do-do-do-do-do. Well, he can't take his toys and go home. He's already home, so he can just pout. That's true. That is true. If anybody makes fun of Cove, you'll get sent to the timeout chair. No! No, wait! But we're not going for Cove this time. We're going for Derek. With much less force, Cove used both of his hands to work on the single lemon. He answered the question while staring off into space. That was likely the same expression Derek had seen the moment they'd met. The face he'd read as intimidating rather than easily distracted. I thought he probably likes sports. I mean, it's not really hard to think about, huh? Yeah, Cove, butt off. This is supposed to be Derek time. Leave your own house, Cove. We really appreciated that you, let us have this as the venue for our dates, but you need to leave. Oh, poor Cove. All three of you shook from laughter, bumping against each other with your closeness, like a bunch of grapes on a vine wrestling in the wind.
I get it.
Okay, Rain, your turn. What did you think about when we met? Oh. Your mind drifted back to a few months ago, before summer vacation had begun. You'd stepped out of your house late in the evening, and Cove was sitting on the curb with someone else, someone you'd never seen in your life, not even in passing at school. A green-eyed boy with a football jersey, who was joking around lightheartedly with your longtime neighbor. You'd guessed immediately that he was the Derek kid from the Holden's new business relationship. That or Cove had learned a magic spell to summon a new friend out of nowhere. That sounds so condescending. That sounds so condescending. You had stood there staring for only a second, but the newcomer noticed your presence quickly. He jumped right to his feet, jogged across the street, and stuck out his hand for you to shake. With the wide grin that you were so familiar with now, he introduced himself to you, the first time, as Derek. Let's see. Cove will definitely need that one in the future. Thought you were nice. That feels like a cop-out one. I thought you were younger than Cove. I thought you were the politest teenager I'd ever met. I too thought this guy liked sports. Oh, I thought you were cute. We can go for it. I'm gonna take it. Because I've heard that it's really easy to, just go for, friendship stuff with this guy. So we definitely need to do that. Cute, yeah. Really? Thanks! Can I ask what you thought about me? Derek's gaze shifted from the picture in front of him to settle on you instead. There was a focus in his eyes. It made you hold your breath for anticipation. Derek, you should probably, if a girl says that she thought you looked cute, I think saying that she looks cute back is a good way to go. I think that's a good way to go about this. Just for an easy answer there. Britt Cove's hard in half. He's smiling. He likes this. Oh. I thought you were cute too. He did it. He wins. Ah, Derek wins. He can read context clues. He wins all of the awards. Perfect husband material. Wow, it was kind of flattering to know you made such a good first impression on Derek. Cove is always smiling. I mean, not always. He's a brat most of the other times. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I thought you would emotionally break me in 2 days after making me totally dependent on your escaped affections. Yeah. Oh, poor Derek. Let's not be mean to him. Couple of cuties, got it. Definitely. Aw, he's so cute. By the way, you have a lemon seed in your hair.
Oh.
Get it off of him. Derek raked his hands through his light brown strands blindly. Unfortunately, he focused on the top of the side, so he never hit the right spot. Ah! Come on, Derek, get it out of your hair! One of your hands covered the laughter coming from your mouth, and you used the other to point to the target to the back of his head. Finally, he was able to brush the seed onto the floor. He bent down to pick it up and dropped it to the side of the counter. Thanks, Rain. You're welcome. Yeah, we can't be mean to Derek. He's a hard-working family man, and we respect him, unlike Cove. Yeah, that's right. We respect Derek here. We could add a little of the lemon zest too. I'll do that. Derek fumbled to move the topic to something else. His darkening cheeks were probably the reason why. Do you have a grater or a peeler? Yeah. Cove gestured to the same drawer the knife had come from. Derek dug through it until he successfully retrieved a multi-textured grater. He took his stuff to the opposite side of the kitchen to not get it in the way and worked with his back to you and Cove. Cove tilted his head thoughtfully. He was inspired by Derek's work ethic. If it's gonna be fancy lemonade with zest, then we should do that thing where you put whole slices in too. I can cut a few of the leftover lemons. Cool. Rain, can you pour the water and sugar in the pitcher so it can start to dissolve? Yep. You started by filling up the sparkly jug with chilled filtered water from the fridge, and you remembered to put ice in the drink too. The diluted lemon juice sloshed around and threatened to spill over as you piled in the ice. You left some space for Cove's lemon slices. Finally, you took hold of the hefty bag of white sugar and pulled it close to the counter's edge. He's a hardworking family man, and we're a rich heiress athlete that's about to enter the lowest point of our life, retirement, and we need to lash out emotionally at someone. We haven't reached there yet, though. We're still an athlete. We're still in our prime. Stray sands of sugar that coated the bag came to stick against your still damp fingers instead. You felt like you were building a sandcastle at the beach. Let's see. We're not cowards. Just pour the sugar into the bottom of the glass. Just pour it all in. You searched around the kitchen until you found a colorful ceramic mixing spoon. You dunked it into the pitcher and carefully stirred. A quiet smile grew on your face as you watched the bits of sugar swirl around the pale yellow drink. At this point, the separate ingredients had truly come together to become lemonade. Round and round you turned the spoon. It was almost hypnotic the way the juice whirled around the pitcher. Your trance was broken by a sharp hiss at your side. You dropped the spoon, losing it in the depths of lemonade, and snapped your head towards Cove. He was holding his left hand to his face. A thick bubble of dark red had slipped down from one of his fingers and left a streak over his palm. Fun fact, Annabelle, Derek's Night Fury, has a crush on a female Night Fury called Shade. She is a purple female Night Fury. I see. We are offering an invaluable service. Cheap tooth removal. Yeah, sounds accurate. And she has green eyes. I see. Alright. He was holding... nope, we read that. Oh, ouch. Where do you keep the bandages? Oh, I could completely freak out. I can completely freak out and scream. I mean, it doesn't make much sense for our character since we're the Beehive boxing champion. You know, the best there is. But, like, you know, we could see blood and then immediately start screaming. Tell him if he's okay. Aw, that's no fun. Okay. Cove plainly shrugged. It's nothing. Without even thinking about it, Cove reached his hand down to wipe the mess on his pants. Luckily for his trousers, Derek flipped around at the commotion. His tense, worried face took in the scene, and a disbelieving shout startled Cove into freezing. We are tough, yeah. We took the tough answer. Scream to emotionally manipulate both of them into making the injury about you. We've already passed it. We can't go back. There's no looking back in this playthrough. Luckily for his trousers, Derek flipped around at the commotion. His tense, worried face took in the stance, and a disbelieving shout startled Cove into freezing. Don't do that! Cove stared incredulously from the corner of his eyes, with an arm awkwardly sticking out from his side. His sudden pause in a strange position reminded you of the red light, green light game you'd played in your elementary school. Except there was no green light, and only red in Cove's vision. I'm fine. No way! I look outside to see a horse wandering around. It's 1 a.m. Whoa! There's just a horse outside at 1 a.m.? This sounds like a creepypasta. Be careful. Let's see. You gave a firm agreement. Cove needed to take care of himself. Also, wait a second. It's 1 a.m.? I just, like... Hold on, I'm gonna whip around for a second. It's 1 a.m.? What are you still doing up? You need to take care of yourself. Hold on, I'm going into mom mode. Feed the horse Cove's hair. Alright, Derek stretches arms high to grasp the taller teen by the shoulders. He stepped backwards, getting Cove to move with him. No, you'll never take me alive! Take care of yourself! Get proper sleep! Drink water! Don't argue with me! We're gonna clean that off for real. Cove muttered an averted fine as he stumbled along with Derek, who was reversing out of the kitchen. Rain, do you mind cleaning up the cutting board? No, I'll take care of it. Request denied, Fish-chan. What? What? Chotto mate! What do you mean, request denied? Sumimasen? Hold on, I need to make this worse. I'll just use really crappy Japanese for a second. I surrender. Good. Was it the weebiness? Was that it? Alright. That's what always wins. Everyone wants to run away from it. Let's see. Where was I? What was I doing? No, I'll take care of it. Right, I remember now. You know, she might be able to pull out when she starts using Japanese. Maybe, you don't know that. You don't know me. You don't know how deep this weebiness runs. Sleep well, don't let the horses bite. Yeah! Anyways.
Sleep well.
All right. You gathered the knife onto the cutting board and brought it over to the trash. The lemon slices couldn't be used in the drink after that. You used the knife to scrape them off into the bag. Cove's always ruining everything for us. Then you got to the rinsing board. Then you got to rinsing the board and knife in the sink with soap and hot water. You switched between staring down at the suds and checking over the counter for the boys. You were careful not to accidentally get a cut of your own, but it was hard not to wonder what was going on down the hall. Nope, not sleeping. Having too much fun, but I appreciate you fellas' care. Okay, well, I can't force you to leave. My mods can no, I'm not suggesting that. But take care of yourself, okay? Go to sleep after this stream. Even though... No, please. Crap, I'm gonna break. Not like this. My stomach. Crap, I'm still laughing. Alright, calm down. We were dating Derek. I will only have my fiance Cove as my loyal fiance. I hope you do not resent my decision. You are allowed to take Cove as your fiance, but Rain right now is only going for Derek. Rip in peace, Worm. God rest his soul. You were careful not to accidentally get a cut of your own, but it was hard not to wonder what was going on down the hall. By the time you'd finished washing up, Cove and Derek re-emerged in the living room. An unassuming brown bandage was wrapped around the cut on Cove's finger. It's okay. It wasn't deep. We washed it off, got it clean, put a bandage on it, good as new. Derek marched with confidence right back into the kitchen. Cove hesitated in the living room. He waved apologetically. Hey, you're really okay? I definitely am. I just nicked myself when a lemon slipped. The juice stinging me was way worse than the cut itself. Oh god, you got lemon juice in that? God, it's the worst. Oh no, Cove is stealing our man. Damn it. We're losing to Cove, come on! We're supposed to have all these guys wrapped around our fingers. The guys aren't supposed to get together. This wasn't how it was supposed to work. This isn't what anime promised me. Cove got no worse than he deserved. Wait a second, you're saying he deserved to have lemon juice in his cuts? What next, you want salt in his wounds? That's a relief. Thanks for helping, Derek. Thank you too. It's cleaner in here. I imagine this the same time as Cove cut himself. His Night Fury friend cuts with a piece of glass on the sand while he was hanging out. I see. Yeah, I do. Come on, Space. Come on. I get you, Cove, like, Cove deniers, really, you know, want to see him suffer, but come on here, that's a little too far. That one's a little too far. He held his hand up to you for a high five. It'd been washed clean of the lemon juice that coated it before. Alright, we slapped his hand. You swung your palm forward and clapped Derek back. He pumped his arms enthusiastically as a follow-up. Frankly, it's amazing he still has that arm. I mean, like, if he got into another accident, careful, don't break it. I'm not breaking anything. Cove walked over to join the two of you, smiling ruefully. It was Derek and Rain, not Cove and Rain. Derek won't break anything. Thanks for caring. Always, man. What now? Well... He took a second to look between you and Cove as he puzzled out a next step, but then he beamed. Let's try our lemonade. It doesn't need the slices or the zest. Derek gave an exaggerated wave across from the front of his chest, blowing the whole thing off. Cove eagerly supported the sentiment. He was more than ready to put the prior incident behind him. I imagine this Cove healing his Night Fury friend, cut with the help of Derek. I could see that too.
You're right.
Yeah, lemonade doesn't need to be fancy. It's lemonade. It looks cool if it's fancy though. Oh, it looks fine. It's just the spoon stuck in it. The spoon we dropped. Derek nodded twice as he strained to lift the nearly full pitcher. He had to bounce it on his tiptoes to pour the juice into the set of 3 glasses that had been put out earlier. If Derek noticed there was a spoon clattered around in there, he pretended he didn't. Let's see. Well, I mean, we're taking the lemonade, obviously. It's, free drink. And our hard effort. We have to take the lemonade. So I guess thank you. At the same time, Cove and Derek tipped their cups and took full gulps of the drink. The reaction was immediate. Cove's back went stock straight, and then he spit it into the cup. Derek's face and body scrunched together, but he was polite enough to choke the gritty beverage down. Was it the sugar we added? Was it all the sugar? Derek's having trouble lifting the pitcher. Yeah. Seemed that way. That's not lemonade. That's lemon-flavored sugar goop. Yeah, it is. Sugar. Yep. Did you never make lemonade when you were like 10? This is always how it turns out. Derek exhaled painfully and chuckled from nervous shock. It's kind of chunky. You joined in the laughter, though yours was far more sinister. I added the sugar, just like you asked. You boldly took a sip of the sweet lemon slop, smirking the entire time. Derek used a hand to wipe a few drops of what could loosely be called lemonade off the grin of his face. We knew what we were doing. We knew all along.
That's really bad.
Here's something else, Rain. Cove nudged the glass of undrinkable liquid away from himself, but his enthusiasm hadn't been squashed. He had his own idea of what to do. Let's fill the water balloons. Slowly, cautiously, Derek questioned Cove's plan. He didn't want to ruin things, but expressing concern was more important. Will you really be alright in a water balloon fight with your finger and stuff? Oh, we ignore that stuff. Jesus Christ is here. Hello, welcome. Welcome in. Cove remained relaxed in the face of Derek's worry. He wasn't going to bring the mood down after the commotion he caused earlier. He responded to the inquiry by slickly pulling out the big gun. Your neighbor smirked as he held up his left arm over his chest, showing the full length of the jagged, pale scar that marked him. I've had worse. Derek's eyes widened and his mouth stuck hanging open. You'd seen Derek in a swimsuit. He didn't have a single scratch on his skin, or if he did, it was tiny enough to be covered by nothing more than neon shorts. He could only imagine what Derek had gone through to get an injury with such a lasting impact, so if Cove Holden said he could manage cut, he could manage that cut. Whoa, you're pretty tough after all. The compliment had Cove preening. He caressed his trusty scar and giggled childishly. I'm forgetting how to read all over again. Yeah, I think it will be okay. Alright, let's do it. Nothing else needed to be said. The three of you busted open the baggie of water balloons, pushed the tools of your lemonade production aside, and got to work on another summer group project. You stretched the open end of the water balloon over the faucet. The plastic fit snugly around the silver spout. You still kept your hands on it to make certain the balloon didn't pop off and shoot a stream into your face like a busted water fountain. Cove is already thinking of how he's going to lie to make his scar seem cool. Yeah, it was this total accident that happened with a jet ski. Yeah, took control of it and let's see how exaggerated we can make it. Derek flipped the handle up for you, and the first saggy balloon rapidly expanded. Out of the bag, the balloon was a dark emerald color, but in a few seconds, the bloated sack of water had stretched so thin, the green had become almost translucent. It was as pale as Cove's hair. Before it was pushed beyond its limits, Derek turned the faucet off again. You carefully pinched the strain top of your perfectly plump toy, and then harvested it off the silver vine. I'm still losing the ability to speak today. Ah! Cove reached out for it, as he intended to tie the balloons while you had Derek continued filling. Derek looked between the balloons and Cove's hand and called a timeout. He'd been a little overeager to get involved and realized in that moment that their team arrangement wasn't the most efficient. He requested to switch positions with Cove. Cove rolled his eyes but couldn't argue. His bandage could easily be yanked right off by the taut loops of the plastic that formed around the fingers while tying them. Your optimized party got back into action when you hooked balloons into place. Cove handling water distribution, and Derek sealing the deal with a knot. Man, we really are third wheeling on this one. It seems to be mostly Derek and Cove talking. Soon you had a couple dozen shiny water balloons overflowing in the sink basin. Cove pushed off from the counter silently. He disappeared from the kitchen and left you and Derek wondering. He went down the hall into his bedroom. He was only gone for a minute before stepping back into the hall with a pure white, hole-speckled laundry basket. The point of that was obvious, but his choice of bin did get a bit of ribbing from Derek. We can't lose Derek. We have to deal with Cove. Wait a second, you can't say stuff like that. Jesus Christ is watching. Did you dump the clothes on the floor for that? Yeah, they were already dirty. Oh. Derek blinked. He hadn't expected that to be true, or for Cove to be so straightforward about it. You snickered at the exchange, still casually leaning against the sink. When Cove dropped the very nearly empty laundry basket on the tile, you cradled a few water balloons in your arms and placed them inside. Cove and Derek joined in with the transfer. Eventually, every water balloon had safely made it into the basket. Nice work! Derek and Cove took one side and lifted, while you helped steer by grabbing the back end. Moving as one, the three of you shuffled out of the kitchen and through the living room to take your treasure chest of jiggly jewels into the neighborhood. The door was open. The drop from the curve to the street was overcome, and you successfully placed the laundry basket in the center of the empty road. Man, Cove can't even make the... your comment got caught up, and I can already tell what it says. Can't even not make a mess. Yep. He always makes messes. Your poor lemonade stall might have suffered from the lack of traffic, but that was perfect for your current activities. No civilians were likely to get caught in the crossfire for the coming battle. Well, we're here. We are here. Derek slowly curled and uncurled his fist. Cove didn't take his eyes off of you or Derek. No one made a move for the pile. Broke the pause and grabbed a weapon. Go for it, grab it. We fire first. Cove lashed out like a snake at your move and got his hands around a balloon on his own before he could do anything with yours. But Derek wasn't going to be left behind either. He struck both his hands deep into the mess and came out with 2 balloons. In quick succession, Derek launched one shot at you and the other at Cove. Ah! You felt the impact of the solid object slamming against your chest before it burst into a million pieces, and a shock of cold water seeped out from the front of your dress. Strike first, strike last! Cove was left sputtering, and with a dark strain on the lower edge of his top, he shook the hit off and chucked the balloon directly at Derek in return. It exploded against his right shoulder. No one was dry anymore, and no one was safe. The war was on. Ooh, who do we do? Let's see. We can go defensive, but I don't think that's the right move. Not against these opponents. So hit Cove, he's the weak target. It landed true and added a second dripping blotch on Cove's unusual shirt. Yeah! Awesome, Rain. Let's gain up on him. We can bring him down. Run, you were a little late for that, Momster. You were a little late. The 3 of you elbowed against the others to dig into the pile and restock your supplies. Politely taking turns was out of the question. The water balloon fight was in full force. Careful not to break his ribs with the water balloons. He's fine, he can take a few hits. Derek sprinted up and down the street, making himself into a moving target. He'd only made a mad dash for the center area when he ran out of balloons. Cove had no fear of being an easy mark and stayed right by the laundry basket, lobbing strike after strike at you and Derek. Ah, what a sinister move. Let's see. We're competing with Cove over the pile. That seems like a good one. It was a mess with the both of you sending off a barrage of balloons in close contact. At one point, Cove was shaking so hard from a chuckle fit that his attempt at a throw went so poorly the balloon didn't even pop. It just bumped against your arm before plopping onto the ground. He almost fell over trying to get it back to toss again, through his wheezing. And you still ended up with a little wetter because of how watery your eyes had gotten from the overwhelming giggles. Truly a foe. Truly the most dangerous foe of all. As weak as we expected. But he's making us cry, thus getting us covered in water. Such an underhanded tactic. Uh-oh, what was that? Nothing important. I'm moving on. I'm not gonna worry about that. Just an error in my computer. It's not messing with anyone. Chat still here? Chat still doing fine? Yeah, it's not showing anything. It's fine. Laughter and water splashes filled the normally quiet Sunset Bird neighborhood. You were convinced the mean grandparents would jump out and shout about the noise. Luckily, no one interrupted your revelry. And even if someone had, they would have been putting their dryness at risk by confronting your group. Rapidly, the amount of balloons dwindled until each person only had one left in hand, and the laundry basket had nothing except a little puddle at the bottom with scrapes of rubber scattered in it. Arms were held high in the air, taking aim, and eyes shifted from one option to the other. Derek wound his arm further back. Cove and you couldn't take your eyes off of him. Your teeth gritted as you tried desperately to calculate where the balloon would fly. Would it be Cove or you? However, Derek chose neither. He launched it straight up into the air. It reached an impressive height, and you could barely see the speck of yellow against the vast blue sky. He's taking himself out! Oh no! Derek, no, don't do this! You're too young! Until it inevitably sailed down and smacked against the tarmac. Derek broke into more snickers. At that exact moment, the balloon broke into 1,000 drops of water. He's taking us all out with him! He wasn't the only one amused by the stunt. Cove's smile bent and he opened his fingers to let his balloon drop harmlessly to the ground. This time, losing the balloon wasn't an accident. And he didn't pick it back up. Instead, he brutally brought his foot against his own weapon and decimated it under his heel. A jovial truce had been formed between the two. Okay, but like, we have the option to be the better person. We could take that option. It makes sense. It makes sense to do that. It makes sense to do something like we throw it at Derek. But that ceasefire didn't have to apply to you. Without mercy, you pelted Derek with a final blow. It splattered against the center of his torso, and he was left in a stunned daze. And then he cheered. It was a violent war, but we fought it the best we could. And victory was ours. We are absolutely not the better person in any circumstance. Nope, we are not. Punish him for not living for... Not living for only us. Alright, that was great. That was how the grandest battle your neighborhood had likely ever seen came to an end. You were all dripping wet and out of breath, and you couldn't be happier. Of course, we won. Derek rubbed his hands together in satisfaction before crouching to the ground to start collecting tiny bits of water balloon debris. Cove strolled around to gather the confetti like trash on his own accord as well. There didn't have to be a discussion. Derek and Cove had that quality in common, a distaste for litter. You appreciated that about both of them and joined in to help pick up the pieces on the ground. You quietly wandered around, filling your fist with the rubbery remains as the sun crept behind the condo roofs. Your shadows grew longer in the waning light. You felt the damp cling of your clothes more acutely as the excitement died down. Your team managed to finish cleaning before night had completely fallen. All the trash was dumped into a tall green trash can at the side of Cove's house. With all that remained of the carnage being a few drying watermarks spotting the streets, your group had returned to the state you'd originally started in, directionless relaxation. Cove had been perfectly willing to return to his house while still wet and scrunch up fresh glasses of lemonade. Plus, he had your bubble blower tucked under his arm. It was a struggle to bounce it all. But Cove took one for the team as someone who actually lived there. You and Derek didn't have to go in and make a mess of the Holden home, though you imagine Cove's dad wouldn't have cared. I imagine this Suncloud and Annabelle, Cove and Derek's Night Furies playing water balloons with the humans and having fun together. I can see that. He passed a drink to you and went to Derek, then used his free hand to flip the laundry basket over. It was less flimsy than it looked because Cove sat on it, and it didn't buckle at all. Derek politely passed on the seat Cove provided. He remained standing while shifting his weight from one foot to the other. We stood near Derek. That's where you would be the most comfortable. Derek welcomed you to the standing section with a grin. Cove quietly took a sip of his lemonade. There was no gagging, so you assumed he added more water before bringing it out. Probably safe that way. Derek circled the top of his glass with the tip of one finger, watching Cove.
Are you alright?
How's your hand? Cove savored another taste of the drink, let out a refreshing sigh, and then answered,
It's okay.
It's still fine. Cool. The ritual of checking on him was complete, and Derek could only chuckle bashfully over his habit. Cove smiled over the rim of the cup. There was comfort in knowing Derek would always care. In between enjoying the lemonade, you took turns blowing bubbles. They sparkled in the evening light. The air was warm enough to be comfortable even with your wet clothes. Lemonade, bubble blower, and good company. That was what days like these were for. It couldn't get much better. Cove agreed contentedly, without you even having to say so. Summer really is the best season. The best season? I don't know about that. Personally, I love fall the most. How about you guys? Chat, what's your favorite season? out of curiosity. I think fall is the best. Fall has my favorite foods, my favorite type of weather. I love watching the leaves change colors. It's just my favorite altogether. Winter or fall? I see. Do you like colder weather? I don't like it when it's too cold outside. Like if it's snowing and stuff. I like watching snow, but I don't like being in it. It's too cold. When it gets too cold, I'm out. Cove is Bambi and Derek is Thumper. I can see that definitely. If we're comparing Disney movies here, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Fall? Yeah, Fall Club! You'll be pleased to know that the second game of our life takes place in the fall whenever we get to that one.
Same.
I think so too. There's no answer to say that fall is my best. I just think summer, like, it's okay. I don't hate it. Yeah, I guess it's just okay, I guess. It's way better than okay. I like summer and spring. I see. Do you prefer warmer weather then? Summer and spring are nice. I think I like spring. Like, it's fall then spring for me. I love the transition seasons. It's just, like, my favorite time. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. Now I'm thinking about fall. I can't wait for fall. A gentle expression rested on Derek's face as he spoke softly. It'd be nice if things could be like this all the time, huh? But then Derek lifted his glass and spoke in mock outrage to the world at large. Why can't it always be summer break? Despite it being an obvious joke, Derek's words struck a chord with Cove. His total chill hardened into seriousness. He drowned his glass of lemonade and hopped onto his feet. I'm gonna go check something. You should come, both of you. He considered that a sufficient offer because Cove simply walked back to the front of his house and left the empty glass on the side of the door. Derek's gaze followed his friend, and he lifted one brow. What are we gonna see? You'll see when we get there. You're probably gonna try to talk me out of it, so you don't need to know now. What? He almost dropped his cup. Derek twisted his head to track Cove's moves with the saucer-wide eyes. What is he planning? Cove, what are you planning? Or maybe Rainwood, what are you planning? You couldn't make eye contact with him after the accusation. It was probably true, but that didn't make it less embarrassing. Come on. Still completely confident, Cove strolled up the road. Derek gulped, but not the lemonade. He pointed a panicked glance at you. We should go. Go after him. Onion. I see. Welcome back. Also, what's your favorite season? We're taking a quiz. If you answer wrong, execution. So think carefully about the answer. Man, Cove just leaving litter too. He is not impressing. No, but he did just leave the litter in front of his house. So. Alright. Derek hooked his open hand through the side handle of the laundry basket. He jogged on his tiptoes over to Cove's condo. The bin bumped along against the street beside him. He flung it in front of him and left it there in the entry. He placed his half-empty lemonade by Cove's. Your favorite season? What's your favorite? Answer carefully. He left it for his dad to clean up. Basically that. Oh, winter? I see. Winter seems to also... I think 2 people said winter so far. The popular answer seems fall. Fall is my favorite. I love the transition seasons. Alright. Let's see. You were right behind him. You dropped the bubble blower into the laundry basket and completed the set of glasses by placing yours next to theirs. Spring for you, Momster? I see. Let's go. After another light jog, you caught up to Cove. He was going at a leisurely pace and smirked when he saw the two of you in the corner of his vision. Hey. Hi. Together, you, Cove, and Derek left your neighborhood and returned to the main sidewalk that you took to reach the grocery store hours earlier. What are we doing? Fall is great too, it's beautiful. Now that I think about it, it's really tied between them. Yep, spring and fall are my favorites because they're like the transition period, you know? Fall is where everything starts dying, and spring is when everything comes back to life. I think both are really beautiful in their own rights. I don't know. I'm a writer, so I say things like stuff like that all the time, but fall is my favorite. I love how beautiful it is. I love the foods, I love the smells. Watching the leaves all change color is super great too. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I read that. An exchange of glances between you and Derek was the only interaction you had during the walk. Cove kept his sun-kissed face forward and his mouth shut. Pumpkin, yeah! Pumpkin! I do like pumpkin flavored things. Like, pumpkin bread is one of my favorites. I love that. Uh-oh, something happened outside. Hopefully that won't continue. My house is like right by a super busy road, so I end up getting like a lot of traffic through there. And so sometimes you'll hear like sirens and stuff and like honking. It gets like really loud. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, I think I read that. Shopping wasn't on your neighbor's mind because that building was passed without acknowledgement. He was taking you further down the path. Only about a minute later, your progress was halted by a row of strikingly orange traffic cones and strings of droopy do not cross banners. Should we go around? No, we're here. Where are we going, Cove? Where are we going, Cove? I have to go, but I will watch the rest of the stream on my smart TV. Have a good night. You have a good night too. Thanks for joining us. Sleep well, get lots of rest, and have a good night and a good day the next day. Good night, Okapi. Good night. Alright. Derek stalled. Cove, however, got onto his knees in front of the blocked-off area. His eyes were glinting with intention. I saw this when we were leaving, but people were working on it. The concrete is still wet, and there's no one around now. Yet again, Cove had knocked a gasp out of Derek. You're not gonna mess it up, right? Cove didn't have to say anything to answer. He shared a coy smile, and that was enough.
Oh, man.
Oh, Cove, that was really bad. The grin on Derek's face trembled, both from laughter threatening to spill out and the fear of getting in trouble. I mean, it's like, no, it's perfect. Oh, really? Okay. He wasn't even sure. Cove fearlessly stuck his finger into the muddy gray concrete. He slowly etched out a series of numbers. When he was done, the corners of the block had 2011 scribbled into it for all to see. Oh, hey, we have an official date for when this was, done. He surveyed his work with pride, while wiping his dirtied finger onto the side of his pant leg. Okay. Okay, we can draw. We can be really creative here. Let's see. So we can write our initials. That's like really basic and stuff. Also a little incriminating. So maybe not that answer. We could add summer, but like I don't really want to add much. Add summer? Really? Add summer? Well, there's the rule that if you guys put something, I have to do it. So add summer. Not our own creative adventure. We have to like add on to Cove. Draw a feast. Yeah! Everything marked with fish, everything becomes fish. That made more sense to you than just having it be the year.
Nice.
That's nice. Derek stared hard at the soft, forbidden canvas and slowly crouched down. Forbidden canvas. I don't know why that's so funny to me. He paused, bit his lip, then ultimately pressed one finger into the tacky surface to leave a small print. He'd left a sign of his presence there on that day, right along with Cove and you. Relief came to Derek's features once he'd finished. Hopefully it dries before anyone finds out. Yeah. The single word was only a whisper, but it was warm and pure. Thanks for taking us, Cove. You're welcome. Cove dusted his pants off as he stood after the job was done. Derek shot up as well, newly invigorated. He looked to the sky and squinted at the sun. The day was coming to an end, but no one could say your group had wasted it. That was true for the entire summer. Draw a heart, then leave them to think of who it was meant for. Let the jealousy drive a wedge between them. All for chaos. No matter what happened when school started again, and when an unknown future arrived, you'd still have all the memories you made together when you had the chance and the things you left behind. Okay, that was it for that episode, and it's been about 2 hours now, so I think this makes a good stopping point. I have a lot of work to do. 2 more videos to edit. 2 more videos. And hopefully I'll have them out by next week. If you guys don't remember, or next week, this week. If you guys don't remember, I am going on vacation, so there will not be a Wednesday stream. Whoop. Okay, my voice just gave out. One sec. Gonna take some tea real fast. Okay, alright. Back in business. Alright. So, if you guys remember, I'm taking a vacation. I will not be here on Wednesday or Saturday for my usual streams. So I'm going to try and finish some videos to put in their place. So no Lobotomy Corporation and no Hollow Knight next week, because I want to play those with you guys. So, yeah, so there'll be other things instead. I'm working on some other videos. So look forward to that. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Monday Book Club lives on. And, we still have a lot to go in this game, huh? I thought we were almost done, but this DLC takes a while. My poor throat. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Wait, when did you say you were leaving? I'm leaving sometime this week. However, there will not be a Wednesday stream, and there will not be a Saturday stream. Alright. So, I will see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate it. As always, love you lots, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye!